name. She's in the car.
Good afternoon. Montgomery County Board of Education has a special call meeting Tuesday, April 30th, 2018, Central Auditorium, 4 p.m. Meeting is now called to order. We do have a quorum with all members present. We need to have a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that we adopt the agenda as printed. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I don't think I got the agenda and the sheet. You know, for the rubric, I know, Renee, you were,
I
was
just
this,
handed it back out to you.
did Dr. Eggleston get one too, or is
No,
this
Dr.
mine?
Eggleston did not get one, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, thank you. I was just confused.
Okay.
Yep.
Those who are in favor, let's see by show of hands. Okay, it's unanimous. Before we move forward as the information that we were going to review as superintendent applicants, I must take a point of personal privilege and address the audience as well as the board. On April 24th, 2018, this school board agreed to allow school board members to take the applications for superintendent home for their review. The members of this board were given specific instructions to keep the information and documentation confidential concerning the hiring process for the superintendent. On Friday, April 27, 2018, a public article came out that had comments attributed to school board member Dr. Lisa Keith. The article had a quote in it by Dr. Keith that stated, "The school board had already made a decision to hire Dr. Moore as superintendent. I want to assure all of you, the public, that there has been no decision made by this school board to hire anyone as superintendent of Montgomery County Public Schools. That is why we are here today, to continue to complete the hiring process to hire a superintendent for the Montgomery County Public School System." With that being said, you have the information. We have reviewed the superintendent applicants. Now, I think what we'll do, you have a sheet.
Before you start, I'm sorry. This
Okay.
is point of personal privilege, if I'm allowed. You mentioned the discussion, and the article did say something about thinking that the board members had had a meeting outside of Dr. Keith. And to be all honest to all of you, the only board member, and I can't speak for all of you, but the only board member that discussed anything about a salary was Dr. Keith, and she said that Dr. Eggleston was the one that approached her with.
That's wrong. I never said that about you are coming, you can read the text between you and I. I never said anything about Dr. Eggleston. The 220 came to me, and I said, and if it's 220 this Thursday, then I guess I was right. Well, and I did get y'all to thinking.
No, you said that, well, you just corrected me.
Hey,
when I said
if she
something.
is or she isn't, then I achieved whatever I was trying to achieve either way, right?
Lisa, but I'm not gonna let you make me drop to your level.
Well, but let's say the truth. Dr. Eggleston asked him if he told you that. He never said that at
Well, the
all.
conversation that you had with Dr. Eggleston did not bring up a salary of 220.
Never.
Well, why did you lie
Did
on
it?
it?
Did it? Thank you.
Have you had a conversation with her about a salary and who was in retirement where she lied on you?
No, that's not, or I wouldn't be as outspoken as this.
Okay, let's move forward. I have in front of me the applicants for superintendent. We are going to do the ratings at this time. I do have a tally sheet. You have your individual rating sheet. I'll call them by number, and you may, for board member 1, I have board members 1 through 7. So we'll start with you, Dr. Keith. Do you have any numbers for 1 through 12 that you'd like to submit at this time?
Well, we gotta do it first.
Can we, hold on just a
All
minute.
right, I'd like to pass on me being first, because it says review, and I haven't reviewed them yet. I've looked at them, but not
Okay, well,
started, I mean, we just got this rating sheet, right? Transparency?
we got the rating sheet today. You were given the instructions as to how this process would work.
Friday.
Matter of fact, I believe each individual were given the opportunity to carry the folders home. And at that time, you were asked to do your ratings of each of those applicants and come ready today.
No, I was told if we rated, that we couldn't rate. I have not rated them yet. And if we could get the AEA guy that jumped up and said that we couldn't rate them, that would be against transparency. I believe that was Theron Stokes. Or could that be a misunderstanding on my part? I have not rated them
Let's
yet.
move the process forward. Those who have done their homework as it relates to what we had asked you to do, then we're ready to move forward.
Mr. President, if
yeah.
I may, if you would just give us a few minutes just to write it on the paper.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Well, we all have Amber Alert.
And say a quick prayer that
Right.
that child be found.
but just for, as a point of information, it was mentioned that we could not take the rating sheets home, but to review each of the applicants so that when we came in, we could, hopefully, everybody made an some type of marking or whatever so that they would know who their top 5 were. So that's just for clarity. That's how it went.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, we were told to read them all.
Well, when you get
And I
ready,
think I
just
made
let
the
me know when
motion.
everyone get ready, so we
Do
can
you
start.
want us to start giving them to you now?
Well, I was going in order,
Okay.
1 through 7, but.
Pass me and come
I
back.
Let's just take our
I
time.
have.
Okay, well, let's give each person an opportunity to get their numbers straight.
Sure.
Then I'll start going from left to right.
Mr. Porterfield, if you will, would it be best if we, since it is that we're ranking them, submit them to be tallied,
Yeah.
I have a tally sheet. When I call your name.
but to submit the form to you so that we can tally it
No,
from there?
I think what you could do, simply, if I call your name and you have, say, number 1, if your number for number 1 is a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, just give me the number, because for each of you, I have a column that I'm going to place your numbers in, and then I'll total them at the end. Each person can keep up with the tally sheet. If for number 1, if you rated number 1, when I call out, just give me, say, number 1, I have a rating of 3, 5, or whatever. I'll place it on this sheet to be tallied until I go through the entire board.
Okay.
Or, Mr. Porterfield, what if you just collected all of our sheets real quick?
Well,
And
they'll
I
start,
think that
well,
would-
that will question some transparency. So I wouldn't want to
Mr.
be,
Porterfield, let me finish, please.
okay.
I think that in order, transparency's fine, but I mean, we have HR right there that we all agreed would be in charge of this process. I think that we should give our tally sheets when everybody finishes them, hand them over to Ms. Pitts. Ms. Pitts, do you feel comfortable doing the tally? Because I just don't
Okay.
feel comfortable saying number 1 and let's go down the line.
Miss
and
Sal,
do that.
Miss, if you would, Miss Pitts, if you would come this way, please. And that certainly will be out of our hands, and certainly hope that will be transparent.
And we don't need to put our name on the tally sheet.
No, you don't. You can get started with mine now. I have only 3. I didn't need.
You don't like mine?
The ones I didn't consider, I'm gonna write.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Anybody
Right.
else finished?
No, and I don't want you standing over me while I'm
I'm
doing
not,
it.
I'm not.
I'm done, but hold on, Dale's not done.
Just raise your hand and I'll pick.
I will.
You got it, Ellie?
See, I didn't put mine on the sheet. I didn't put mine on. I didn't have but a top three, I didn't have a top five.
Who is that? Who is that?
You're not supposed to know who they are. Remember?
So what?
They said we're not supposed to know who they are. Don't put their names on them. Why are you asking? Why are you asking? Oops.
Oops, again. How about that?
Here you go.
Cause he can do that.
Now you don't get somebody saying it's all on the back.
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
What page?
No, you're supposed to use the rubric, the number 1 through 5. And you can't have anybody with 10, because you don't have 5 is the highest. Yes, read that part. Because I was trying to look at what you do. See, what they're gonna do is add up all the talents, and then the person with the top, the highest number would be number 1, the second highest would be number 2, and the third highest would be number 3, like that, but nobody can get more than 5.
Okay, gotcha.
He's been opening the bottles for me, and I told him I can do it this time. I did. I'm taking his privileges away.
How about that? How about
You
that?
can always pull the chair back. Pick up the cane. Pick up the purse.
Okay, there are a ton of them.
2 children.
So just scrolling that way. Cause it starts with her getting ready.
Oh, yeah, cute.
No, that was
Okay. Okay, I'll be on front. We've got a problem. Don't put your names on the sheets, please.
I think it took some pressure off of all of us, but it was still a lot of fun.
You got more of the dresses than you have of her.
There are thousands of pictures now.
Oh, I like those shoes.
I told the other two they couldn't get married close together, cause they kill me.
You probably have a double.
You know, they're close enough in age where they could.
Now, your youngest, is she graduating?
She is in 2 weeks.
Cheese caking on that.
Yes.
I wish I
I've got
should have
a,
saved mine. No, I should have saved mine. Text message. Okay, she told me, because when
That's a throw.
he said,
5.
Really?
Everybody's got theirs.
I haven't either. I haven't
Than they are at Auburn.
She'd gotten a scholarship.
Yeah.
That's what she'd got. So I was telling her about, make sure she applies for the Pell Grant.
Well, and they do that. What is it?
They work and my daughter did that with Chase.
5 times 6 is 15.
And the reason Isabella chose it is because it's just, and it seems like
Yeah,
they're more
a
serious.
little more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you need to go there. My nephew's girlfriend, she graduated
Look at his smile.
She about ready to cry.
I think
She's coming back, going to,
Pretty good. She did.
my best friend did that.
Proud mom.
My parents wanted me to go.
She looked like a singer instead of mom.
Just to kind of get settled in. And then they were like, you can go wherever you want. Well, about the second week of school, my best friend came to me, home to my house and lived with me for a week. She was afraid to tell her parents.
That's it.
It
Oh, no.
was just too much. And she ended up, and we both ended up going to A all the time. Got a great degree.
Out of ASU and comfortable.
I do.
Yeah,
I
'cause she
hope
got
one
that
day I
wedge.
can, wear shoes.
Well, hey,
I just
I
want to
will.
live.
Just a little bit. But they got some cute ones out there.
I've seen them, I'm just afraid to put them on since I can't sing register.
Yeah, well, I can't either, but I just do what I can do.
Oh, I am going to.
Over the head, is it? No. Oh,
Thank you.
that's so cute.
Y'all are so
You all
sweet to look.
You look more like a
Sister.
sister than
Aw.
mine. I'm serious, you look just like a bride, rest of the bridesmaid.
I'm telling you, it was just one of those magical weekends where you look back and you think, I can't believe it really happened. But it was,
Fun.
She done with you?
well, my son-in-law has stolen my heart with the way he looked at her during the vows. They live in Coventry, you know, that neighborhood that's right behind
Outside of Lakes. I have some friends out there.
our house. It's weird, just read.
so what are they doing?
He works for Export, he's in logistics, and she works for the Southern Conference. She, is handling all of the tolerance classes all over the
Okay, you got
States.
3,
Like she
2,
coordinates,
2, 2,
that, she loves it.
I think that'd be an exciting job.
She loves it. It's so not like, she said, Mama, when
This
you go
one
in
we
and look
got,
down there, like,
5,
they have like sleeping pods, like you can take a break and take a nap. And it's not a 6-week
last one we got,
university of football, champagne on that deck over Montgomery.
Oh my God.
She said, this is so much better than working at the hotel. But the hotel was a great job too.
no, we not gonna name it.
They said that this weekend was a lot of fun with the,
Okay,
justice,
so we don't make a public.
Equal
equal justice initiative.
Okay, okay.
She said it was actually pretty interesting with all her buddies that worked at the Renaissance. You know, they have all the people.
Should I give them numbers?
Racing and
Don't give anything.
between the Saratoga Law Center and then.
There was somebody giving out.
I'm interested.
She likes
I'm interested.
Okay. The top, where's
No,
Sharon?
I'm fine.
Attorney Stokes, would you,
Let you know.
we're going to top 4 because they were, far out than me, so we just give them numbers. Don't give them their names, no names, because we're in contact. Should we share the numbers to the board in
Yes.
terms of the high numbers? Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Okay.
You have, we do.
I think I'm speaking, the attorney give me the right answer.
Well, I'm right there with you. I'm your partner.
Question.
I think he'll give me the right answer. Okay, so they, would you read them out, maybe, so they won't think? Yeah.
We do.
Here are the top 4 that will be for interviews, and Ms. Pitts will be reading those numbers out to each of the board members. Matter of fact, you're not to share this with anyone till Ms. Pitts will have made contact with these individuals to set up the interview, okay?
And then afterwards, you can give a public statement, but we want to make sure that these people have had an opportunity to tell their current, if there's a current employer, before they make this announcement on the news. That's
Okay.
just a professional courtesy that we should give them, okay?
Okay.
So, but as board members, you need to know
The
the
top,
ones. and-
that's correct.
And Mr. Porterfield has indicated that we'll do the top 4.
Top 4.
Sure.
Because 2 of them are very close. 2 are very
I'll
close,
talk.
others
Is
were
that
far
better?
out. So I did top 4.
I'm right there with you, bud.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right.
I
Keep going.
appreciate it.
And this is
Appreciate
in
it.
no order. This is in no particular order. Number 1, number 4, number 9, and number 10. Those are your top 4.
Okay. Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want, since we only have 4 candidates, and I know that Impact has a program Thursday morning at 8:15 that I know.
My thinking, I think we talked about, when are we gonna start the interview?
At 1 o'clock.
At 1
Yeah,
o'clock.
I just wanted to make sure, so
Yeah,
could we?
we'll start the interview process at 1 o'clock on Thursday.
So how long are we thinking each interview will take?
Oh, it shouldn't be over 45 minutes, should it?
Hour, plan on an
We said an
hour.
hour,
Okay,
about an hour,
I have a
45 minutes to
question.
an hour.
okay.
If we're being transparent, can the board know the numbers?
I thought she just gave you the numbers.
Know the numbers of how many were the 2 that were the closest?
Let me share that with you personally.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So we meet Thursday at 1 PM in here.
That's correct.
And Mr. Porterfield, if I may, for the sake of transparency, and Ms. Pitts, you probably will be able to answer this better, but once the applicants are notified, can we set aside like a time or a day for the community to get to meet them? Have you all done that before?
We have, when we've done a national search, we've had community members to come in and we've set up forums, but that was usually like over a long period of time, maybe a month, so we had different weeks that, you know, we had like different community groups, maybe the principals, maybe parents, maybe business leaders, so that would be totally up to you.
Well, to add on to that, if we could just have, since we are not going to do the interviews until 1 o'clock, and they're gonna have to be here on Thursday anyway, could we just have, I would like for the principals and staff and any stakeholder who would like to just come and have a meet and greet with the 4 applicants that we have. And then it would be transparent, so we don't have to have any special interviews or, press conferences or anything like that. And we said we want to be transparent and we don't discuss, contrary to some belief, we're not discussing this because I couldn't come up with 3, but I was glad you had 4. But so if we could just perhaps think about that. Attorney Stokes, what you think about it?
Yeah, I understood any way you want to do it. I would encourage you to let the public be able to have access.
Yeah, I said stakeholders, and stakeholders are the public.
Yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
So when do you want to do that, Mary? When are you? The same day?
The same day.
Do you want to just do some kind of reception after all of the interviews?
Yeah,
So what?
before, just kind of like.
Right. We need,
Oh,
if we're gonna do that, we need to do
We
that
are not
before.
starting until 1. They're gonna have to be here anyway Thursday, those who we have selected as our top 4. So if the principals, the teachers, the parents, all are stakeholders. And if they could just come and you could have them at the teacher center or something, because that's large enough for people to get in and out, and it's not a all-day thing, you know, we could. I think it would be good, so when whoever we choose, then they will have made their choice as well, and may give us some input, you never know.
And one more thing I'd like to ask is if we could have the community and all stakeholders to maybe send in some questions via email or on our Twitter, Facebook account, just so that we can have some of their questions added. Is everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I think that'll be transparent enough.
We need to come up with a time now before I call them this afternoon, so they'll know what time to be here and what to expect.
So make that
Well,
9 to 12?
That's kind of a long time. I'd
what's
say,
that, 10 to 12?
10 to 12?
And, it's not where they're gonna
Like,
come and
just a
sit,
meet
just to
and
meet them
Yeah,
and
just a meet and
have a
greet.
conversation with them, and, you can form an opinion sometimes by just talking to a
I
person
agree.
about what. I just think everybody should be involved in this.
And Ms. Dawkins recommended 10 to 2.
12.
No,
10 to
not
12, 10 to 12,
12,
I'm sorry,
'cause-
10 to 12,
at
10
the
to 12?
Professional Services Center?
at the professional service.
And I'll make
center.
sure that it's vacant. If not, we'll arrange an appropriate place for them.
Okay.
As long as they're not having anything, it's fine, but I don't wanna say yes, and I don't know what the schedule is for the PSC.
And the PR piece, to get the community to send questions, if Tom could work
And we'll
on
get
that.
Tom to take care of that.
And then that'll give them an hour to kind of freshen
Yeah,
up.
give them a couple hours.
Well, depending on who it is, the first one will have an interview at 1,
Absolutely.
so we'll
Yeah.
wanna make sure we give them some time to
Right. Okay,
regroup.
that's doable.
Okay,
Okay. Well, where's my sheet?
I cannot believe, hey, I can't believe we were that close together. I didn't have a
The agenda sheet.
I figured they would.
Thank you, thank
When
you,
we do
thank
this,
you.
right, it's always, we're always on time.
And the public will have, they, I mean, you know, they can come because just to come and see.
I have
It's like
some like that.
staff.
But you got to, yeah,
Services 10 to 12.
but you got to get the rest of it out there too.
It's tentative, and you put it out there, notice
I have some
changes.
like that.
Okay.
Black and white, sure do.
Tentatively, we're having public hearing. The guys, we're in, public will meet the candidates tentatively on, what's that, Thursday, starting at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And this will take place at the PSC. If there are any changes with respect to location, then those notices will be sent out via the email or on the website. So you will certainly get an ample proper notice before those meetings occur. Another note that we need to focus on is that we'll have the CSFO interviews starting May 9th at 9 a.m. Our next meeting will be Thursday, May 3rd, 8 a.m. Wait a minute, what's this? Yeah. This is at 1 o'clock rather than 8. So our next meeting will be Thursday, May 3rd, 1 p.m. It will be a special call board meeting for the superintendent interviews at the central office. Tuesday, May 15th, we at 2:30 p.m. we'll have a board training in the central office. And Tuesday, May 15th, we will have a combined board meeting at the central office. Is there nothing else? Then this meeting is now adjourned.